Hello vinyl community, Curtis Young here with Young LP Lovers. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I'm going to do another video today, another contest entry. Man, I'm so appreciative of this vinyl community online that I've found. It's been so great. I've been learning so much about music and different albums. It's been fantastic. So, and all these contests are so much fun. Really enjoying them. So today I'm going to do this contest for the flip side, which is actually a new channel for me, even though he's just reached past 3,000 subscribers. Great channel, lots of content, lots of really good content. Check out the flip side. He wants us to show 3 records from the, let me think now, 70s, one from the 70s, one from the 80s, one from the 90s, and to give a shout out to another channel in the vinyl community. So that's pretty cool, supporting the community like that. So for my shout out, I think I'm going to give a quick shout out to Shamrocking Records. I was watching his channel recently, and I noticed in the background there was a poster, I think it was a poster of Great Big Sea, and then he was featuring Great Big Sea in another video, or maybe it was, I think he was featuring Alan Doyle actually, who was the frontman for Great Big Sea, who I also quite like, and it's a band you don't see a lot. It's from Eastern Canada, from Newfoundland. I grew up in Eastern Canada. There's a really vibrant music scene in Eastern Canada. We have East Coast Music Awards. It's a small music community, but it's definitely very active, Celtic in nature. Lots of jigs and reels, lots of fiddles, that kind of stuff. So I like all that stuff. So Great Big Sea has a Celtic twist to them. They can rock it a little bit. They can get folky. They can get singer-songwriter. I like all the singer-songwriter stuff too. There's a great tradition of that back home. Bruce Guthrie comes to mind with some of the Celtic ones. So I grew up in Cape Breton Island, so there's a lot of Irish and Scottish music there as well. So bands like the Irish Descendants come through a lot. The Rankin Family are some of my favorites. Natalie McMaster, Ashley McIsaac, you name it. So it's neat to see someone else in the vinyl community representing some music from Eastern Canada. So that's cool. So he's got Shamrock Records, got a lot of other stuff on the go too. Big Van Morrison fan. Definitely likes the singer-songwriter and the folk kind of stuff. So check out that channel. All right, so let's get into my album. So I've been trying to show some kind of unique stuff, some stuff you don't see every day. I'm going to try to continue to do that with this selection. So I'm going to start with not an uncommon album, but maybe an uncommon version of the album. Okay, so this is Santana. How do you say it? Caravansary. And this is a Japanese pressing, gatefold. And this here is not part of the album cover. This is part of the obi that would have been on the top. This one came with a top strip. So the Japanese obi has all the information from the about the album and the price and so forth. And so whoever had this one cut out the obi and glued it to the front of it. And so this is a white label promo version, which is pretty rare. I think there's only 6 people logged it, or maybe 11 people who have it logged onto Discogs. And I'll show you the label here in a second. I kind of find it interesting. They have the price and the information in here. That's kind of rare as well. Usually the price is on the back, but I guess with such a nice gatefold cover, they didn't want that on the back. So let's have a look at the label. There you are. Well, yeah, I'll take it out. There you go. So there's the white promo label. Oops, upside down. Yeah. and really good shape. I'd say definitely near mint shape. Sounds wonderful. This marked departure for Santana, away from sort of the psychedelic rock sort of stuff to more jazz stuff. There was some change in the lineup. So the first three albums had all the same musicians. So this one had a change in the lineup, and it's the last one with Neil. Oh my goodness, what's his name? Before he went off to Foreign Journey. Neil, I can't remember. Actually, is it in here? So you get these nice liner notes. Look at the thickness of this. You can't get appreciation, but there's a timeline. Again, I wish I read Japanese because these Japanese inserts are lovely. But anyway, so more towards some jazz, experimental jazz, and kind of the end of the original lineup for Santana. But if you're into that sort of more jazzy stuff, this was the start of that. Or, as some other people may say, the start of the end of Santana, until his triumphant comeback in the 90s, or 2000s, was it? So I might have to readjust this. All right, so that's my 70s album, a bit unique. Another one here is from the 80s, Huey Lewis and the News. And this is, again, a bit unique, much more common. I think there's 200 or 400, something like that, people on Discogs who have this one logged. But look at that Obi there for starters. Isn't that cool? The way they've printed the tuxedo or the suit onto the Obi, and you can move it around. The Obi's kind of chewed up, but so that's kind of cool. But what really makes this one stand out, I think, is that the track listing. This version, the Japanese version, has an extra track on it on the B side. And track 3, I don't know if we're going to be able to see it here. Maybe I should take it out again. On the B side, track 3, they've included the previously released Power of Love, which wasn't normally on this album. Can you see it there? I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, it's in place, track 3, the Power of Love, kind of sandwiched in the middle of the album. So that's kind of cool. So you get an extra track in this one, and a good one, right? I think that was the one that was in Back to the Future, I think. Yeah, so you still get all the regular ones. What was on this one? Whole Lot of Lovin', Hip to Be a Square. I think this says Need a New Drug, I think was on this one too. Let me just have a quick look. Stuck With You, Whole Lot of Lovin'. No, so new Drug must have been on Sport. Anyway, so yeah, kind of unique. Good one, nice one to have with that neat Obi plus the extra track. Okay, the last one's not a Japanese pressing. This one is going to be a Jamaican pressing. And so I'm a big reggae fan. And so this is Baju Bantam. And the voice of Jamaica. And it's an interesting album. You can see the cover is not very clear, and the back is even worse, because this is his first album that was released when he signed with Mercury. So this is kind of like his first major album. He had some other stuff released in Jamaica, and then this was his first kind of commercial success. And he was with Penthouse Records, a Jamaican label, started by, remind me of the name, Donovan Germain, Jamaican, lived in New York for a while, came back and started the record label. So on Penthouse. So I'm not sure if this is like a bootleg or an illegal copy. It's because this is the Mercury cover, but the Penthouse label. And if you look at the label, you see this bend in the top of it. And that's because it's the only record in my collection that is significantly taller than all the other albums in my collection. So it's a really weird one in that way. So a Jamaican pressing on the Penthouse label with the Mercury cover that's oversized, and even like this is supposed to be on the side, right? This would be the be the spine, but there's no spine, it's just flat, and then there's writings on the back. So anyway, the B-side of this album is pretty good. The A-side doesn't hold up as strongly for me, for my taste, but interesting, controversial figure. Maybe I'll just quickly tell a story. Let's see. So after he was arrested in Miami with 5 kilos of cocaine, which is definitely more than personal use, I would say. So they gave him trafficking charges. And first trial had a hung jury, so he was out on bail and did a big concert in Miami, nominated for a Grammy Award, wasn't allowed to go to the awards. Like a month later, was found guilty and served 10 years in prison in the US before, I'm not sure how much he served actually. He was sentenced to 10 years anyway. There's some controversy around one of the lyrics to one of the songs. Can't remember the name of it, but it was kind of anti-gay, and so there's a lot of backlash against that. I think he was talking about killing a gay man or something. Anyway, but I do like the B-side of this particular album. So there's Bantam from the 90s. All right, video went a little longer than I expected, but if you made it to the end, thanks for sticking with me. Like, subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll see you around. Appreciate everything everyone's doing in the vinyl community. Yeah, keep it up. One love.